for taking the time to attend. We are pleased to have with us today Mr. Teo Selak, Minister of State, Ministry of Trade and Industry, and Mayor of the North East District. Without further ado, let me now invite Mr. Edward Liu, PBM, Group Managing Director of Conference and Exhibition Management Services, to give his welcome remarks. Mr. Liu, please.
Our distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Teo Selak, Minister of State, Ministry of Trade and Industry, and Mayor of North East District, Mr. Danny Shin, Chief Executive Officer, Explorium, our partner, Mr. Victor Ma, President of the ASEAN Coffee Federation and Singapore Coffee Association, representatives from the government agencies, exhibitors, visitors, and guests. Good morning and a warm welcome to Cafe Asia 2013 and International Coffee and Tea ICTI Industry Expo 2013 at this iconic Marina Bay Sands. Coffee and tea consumption culture in Singapore is well ingrained. From the traditional kopi and tea found in coffee shops to Western-style espressos and premium teas at cafe chains. And as more expats reside in Singapore and locals travel overseas, more varieties of coffee and tea are finding their way into the consumers' minds and preferences. More people are also setting up unique themed cafes to cater to the diverse choices of consumers in coffee and tea appreciation. The outlook for the region's cafe, coffee and tea industry is indeed optimistic. Consumers' increasingly urbanized lifestyle, accompanied by higher incomes, are splurging on the purchasing power on specialty and premium coffee and tea products. These consumers frequent kopitiam for the daily morning coffee and tea fix, and flock to cafes for social gatherings and leisure. Some consumers have even taken to enjoying their own ground and brew coffee at home. These trends exemplify how Singapore is becoming one of the most matured coffee markets in the Asia-Pacific region. Statistics Singapore predicts that between 2011 and 2016, coffee value sales are forecasted to grow at a compound annual average rate of 2.6%, while tea value sales will grow at 2%. This growth is underpinned by continued product innovation and store extensions among coffee retailers in Singapore, as well as the growing sophistication in coffee taste amongst consumers. This is where Cafe Asia 2013 and ICTI Industry Expo 2013 hope to play a vital role. These premier events will see over 90 exhibitors from over 20 countries, showcasing cafeteria equipment and supplies, as well as coffee and tea products. Cafe Asia 2013 and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo 2013 will be the optimal platforms for industry stakeholders to discover new products, explore business opportunities, and source for new suppliers and vendors. The combined events over the 3 days will offer consumers a unique opportunity to explore the world of coffee, tea, and cafe business. Visitors can attend the coffee roasting workshops and labs, as well as partake in the tea seminar and tasting session. The first Asia Coffee Summit, led by industry experts, will allow delegates to gain a deeper understanding into the topic of sustainable practices in the coffee industry. The Singapore Coffee Association will also be holding its various competitions during these few days. The championships will aim to identify the cream of the crop in barista, latte art, and cupping. Members of the Singapore Coffee Association and many exhibitors will also be offering complimentary tasting of their products. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Minister of State, Mr. Teo Ser Luck, our exhibitors whose participation helped make Cafe Asia 2013 and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo 2013 possible. I would also like to thank our co-organizer, Exporum, and our host, Singapore Coffee Association, as well as all other supporting associations and media partners for your kind support. I wish all a fulfilling experience at Cafe Asia 2013 and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo 2013. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Let me now welcome Mr. Danny Shin, Chief Executive Officer of Exporium Inc., co-organizer of the event, to say a few words. Mr. Shin, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cafe Asia and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo. I'd like to express my gratitude to our valuable exhibitors, visitors, and organization representatives of Cafe Asia and ICTI Industry Expo. It is my big pleasure to host Cafe Asia in Singapore, the hub of business towards Southeast Asia. It also has been a role model to its neighboring countries within the coffee and tea industry. It continues to attract large numbers of buyers and industry officials each year from the area of Southeast Asia with various kinds of taste and flavor. For this reason, Cafe Asia will become a center of network among the ASEAN coffee and tea industry, and the gateway for creating new business opportunities between producers and buyers. We are confident that participants will be satisfied with our exhibition and various concurrent events, which introduce the newest trend of the world. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to our co-organizer, SAMS, and Singapore Coffee Associations. I wish exhibitors and buyers attain tasty output from Cafe Asia and ICT Industry Expo, and look forward to your continuing support and encouragement for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Let me now welcome Mr. Victor Ma, President of Singapore Coffee Association and host of the event, to give his welcome address. Mr. Ma, please.
Our distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Teo Ser Luck, Minister of State, Minister of Trade and Industry and Mayor of Northeast District, Singapore, Mr. Edward Liu, PBM, Group Managing Director of Conference Exhibition Services, Mr. Danny Shin, Chief Executive Officer, Exporium, representatives from the various supporting organizations, exhibitors, visitors, and guests. As president of the Singapore Coffee Association, I would like to welcome you on the first Cafe Asia and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo 2013. The Singapore Coffee Association was established in the 1950s by a group of pioneering coffee traders who were dedicated to the development of local coffee trade. Today, our membership represents all sectors of the coffee industry, from green coffee supply chain providers, like some of the big coffee traders of the world we have today, Nero, Dreyfus, the members of this association, international and national roasters. Nestle is a member of our association, local roasters like Bon Cafe, and very well-known coffee retailers like Starbucks and Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. The association aims to provide a forum for all sectors of the coffee industry to share information, promote consumption, and trade as an industry, create awareness, and promote the image of coffee in the community, and represent the local coffee industry at national and international forums. To which I am also pleased to say that the Singapore Coffee Association is also a founding member of the ASEAN Coffee Federation, whose goal is to promote the Asian coffee regionally and internationally. The Federation is currently made up of coffee-related associations from Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore of course, Thailand and Vietnam. As part of our outreaching initiatives to promote local and regional coffee, we hold and participate in various events and meetings. One significant example is the association's participation as the host of the first Cafe Asia and International Coffee and Tea Industry Expo 2013. The three-day combined events is the ideal gathering place for local, regional and international stakeholders to get together and explore further opportunities in the coffee, trade and related businesses. The ASEAN Coffee Federation, in conjunction with the first Asia Coffee Summit, will also be conducting its board meeting during this three-day event. Apart from the Asia Coffee Summit, the Singapore Coffee Association will also be conducting a series of championships, as you can see from the platform here, to showcase the art of coffee brewing and tasting, as well as identify the talents amongst the participants, whom the winner will go on to Melbourne to the World Barista Championships to represent Singapore. I must say we've done quite well in the competitions so far. We've always been in the top 20 or 25. Not bad for a little red dot. I would like to thank the organizers for inviting the Singapore Coffee Association to be the host and providing us another optimal platform to promote coffee locally and regionally. I would also like to thank the exhibitors, the supporting organizations and media for their participation and support. I wish all of you an exciting experience at Cafe Asia and International Coffee and Tea Industries. I'd also like to say a small reminder to Mr. Teo, whether he remembers that he was the first minister to come and help us in our very first competition which we organized. I'd like to thank him, especially because he's really a great coffee fan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ma. Today, we are very honored to have with us our guest of honor, Mr. Teo Salak, Minister of State, Ministry of Trade and Industry and Mayor of the North West District. Let me now invite the Minister to give his opening address. Minister, please.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just do some formality of greetings first. Mr. Dennis Shin, CEO, Exporum Incorporated. Mr. Victor Ma, President, ASEAN Coffee Federation and Singapore Coffee Associations. Mr. Edward Liu, Managing Director of the Conference and Exhibition Management Services Private Limited. Also, excellencies from and ambassadors of Poland, Cambodia and India. Welcome to this inaugural event. I'm glad to see all of you here. Yes, it's not my first time trying to support this industry.
And it's because you would normally come for these events and you get free coffee, and why not? So today I haven't had one, and I just had half of it just now. So I tried to complete the other half after the event. Coffee has been really, it's a process of growing up. I think in the past when we were younger, maybe we don't take that much coffee, but as we grow older, it seems like we can't do without it. And we made progress from kopitiam coffee shops to basically cafe as well. And I think it was very aptly put that we go to get our daily fix at the Heartlands coffee shops, and then we socialize at the cafe. And today is still about the same. And I do have plans also as an MP of the constituency to bring coffee joints or even little cafe corners into the Heartlands, nearer to our HDBs and nearer to where our residents live. Because I think many of them have already adopted to this lifestyle. Either they rush to the coffee shop to actually have their daily fix. I was just thinking, why not bring this daily fix of coffee nearer to their home, and they make it so much more accessible. Well, it's great to see such an event, and I'm happy to be here to open it. I also wanted to encourage this industry to really look at Singapore as a hub, not just in trading of the coffee bean of the community, but really as a place where lifestyle is concerned with regards to coffee. Because the culture of coffee and tea consumption has already been well entrenched in every day of our lives. And I'm glad that the organizers have the idea and concept to launch this Cafe Asia 2013. I'm also glad that they will expand it into the region, because this is a platform to further the growth and development of the coffee industry and the trade in Singapore and our ASEAN friends and neighbors. Its co-held with the inaugural Cafe Asia 2013 is the International Coffee and Tea Industry 2013. I'm told that it's a springboard for local and international industry players to tap into Asia's promising market potential. And the concurrent Asia Coffee Summit 2013 features some of the international coffee connoisseurs, experts, and brings together the many different businesses and stakeholders within the booming coffee industry in the Asia Pacific region. And with more than 15 Singapore-based companies participating in the Cafe Asia, this event is also an important platform to help our Singapore companies and homegrown brands and promote their products and services to the regional buyers. The food and beverage industry in Singapore includes some 6,453 establishments. And in 2011, this industry accounted for 7.1 billion in revenue. And a significant part of it, 20%, is represented by the cafes and bars segment. So it's not a small industry, it's really relatively large, comprising of many players. Some are small medium enterprises, many are micro enterprises, but they all contribute to a part of this industry that contributes to the GDP as well. And over the past few years, it has grown. It has grown because of Singapore's connectivity to the region, rising income, and also changing consumption patterns. The well-developed F&B scene in Singapore and cosmopolitan market also means that Singapore companies are now well positioned to tap into the growing market and the global demand for new and quality food products and concepts. So we don't just go to the famous chains, right? Today we also go to some of the specialty coffee joints, very unique offerings. Learn a new word called indie, right? Indie outlets. And I think that's very exciting, but you don't really have to go underground, a lot of them at the front. So that indie concept I think is very interesting. Suits the lifestyle of the young and the urban professionals today. And using the cafe and bar segment as an example, between 2007 and 2011, the compound annual growth rate of the global cafe and bar segment, it grew steadily to about 1.6% to reach 489.6 billion. And as the second largest market for cafe and bars, behind Western Europe, the Asia Pacific region presents a strong growth story. It achieved a strong growth of 5% between 2007 and 2011. And with these positive developments, the significance of this region will continue to grow because we have a growth of a middle class throughout the region now. People are becoming more affluent, income levels goes up, I think they are looking for a certain lifestyle, quality lifestyle, and coffee is very much a part of it. So the government has been working closely with companies in this sector to evaluate their business processes and improve the staff performance through service capabilities, development, and skills upgrading. Because as you know, this time we roll out the budget, and we know that this budget is to strengthen our local companies, is to strengthen our business sector. It's very important because we are facing economic uncertainty globally, but at the same time, we are also facing certain segments with growth opportunities. We have to keep a balance while we also experience a labor crunch process or labor crunch policies that has been implemented throughout. So there are some difficulties that some of the small medium enterprises are facing, but nevertheless, there are many schemes that is actually out there to help strengthen those companies who take a proactive approach or take a step forward to review the processes and see what they can do. And that includes the F&B industry. We want to work together with all these companies, not just to improve productivity, but let me just say that productivity drive is one way to strengthen companies. And you know we roll out many schemes. And some of these schemes helps in the company to improve their output. And improving output doesn't necessarily mean that you actually work the worker harder. Although sometimes I do understand some companies come with a labor-intensive industry. For F&B especially, sometimes the frontline staff and sometimes the backroom staff will all be labor-intensive. But in any way, when there is a gap where you can computerize or automate to improve the productivity, there will always be programs and schemes there to help you. And sometimes these schemes not only just help you to recover costs or defray the cost of operations, it gives a certain cash flow incentive. An example is the PIC credit. This Productivity Innovation Credit, or PIC, actually allows the company to enjoy 400% of a tax deduction. And 400% means that you will have a net cash positive, which means that 60%, you get 60% the cash payout out of 400% PIC, as long as you invest in innovation and productivity. And I was just wandering around and I was introduced to a product, and I think innovation can come in big and small ones. For example, this product, well, it's we used to have tea leaves, right? And then you put tea leaves was a very primitive and original way, and later on you have tea bags, right? So right now it's innovatively produced to have a combination of all in one. We have tea leaves inside this packet, and then you put it there and you stir, right? So this is in some way or another an innovation. And if any companies with ideas and innovative way to do certain things that improves not just productivity, but their products and services, government schemes and programs is there to help you to do the research and development in the process. And that's how these schemes would help you. Not only that, this year, as you know, we roll out some of the new programs or new schemes to further help smaller companies. There is one where we call a PIC bonus, Productivity Innovation Credit Bonus. This is to actually allow companies to have cash inflow into the company up to a cap of $15,000. That means when you actually invest in a company to do innovative development or buy purchase of equipment of any of sorts that increase your productivity or improve your productivity, at least $5,000, there will be a top up of a $1 to $1 matching. So not only you get to recover your cost, you get cash inflow from the government. That helps in some way or another some of the smaller companies that are cash strapped. Well, I think the government is looking at different industry to work with, especially those with potential for productivity improvement, or potential to be strengthened in this industry, or a potential to grow or to position Singapore as a global or international or regional hub. I think coffee trade and industry is one big sector that we cannot look at. So I hope that the association and the government can actually work together to look and explore in areas where we can help improve the entire industry as a whole. And in that, we actually roll out a scheme where we call collaborative industry projects. Collaborative industry projects would require the sector and the businesses of the sector to come together and see where are the chances or the gaps that we could close in order to strengthen the whole industry and strengthen the companies that's within the industry. So I urge the association, Singapore Coffee Association, to closely look at what are the ways we can work together with the government. There are so many schemes available today. Don't have to remember all of them, because I can't remember all of them myself, although I'm the one who rolled it out. You ask me, I hope that I can remember more than half of it. But more importantly is to have the idea, the concept. Because with the idea, with the concept, you can develop it further, and there will always be programs to support it. Well, in the time to come, we are going into, government is rolling out several schemes to go into the heartlands. And many of these schemes will actually help in many small businesses of the sector, including the coffee trade. And then many of your members may benefit from it. And I think it's important to be watchful what are those, and to work closely with our officers on the ground. Our officers on the ground will come in the form of an outreach officer. They will reach out to industry, reach out to shops, reach out to businesses, no matter how big or small. In that case, we actually are going to roll out and set up the SME centers, Small Medium Enterprise Centers. And that is a very inclusive center, which means that businesses of any nature, of any sector, we are going to embrace it and see what we can do to help the different industry and businesses. Because in order to, when we do that, we can improve the sector as a whole. So we are trying to reach out to as many as possible. The SME Center is an enhanced and new development of the current Enterprise Development Center. And that is to be able to reach out and do as much of it as possible within the heartlands and also within the industry. So I understand that these challenges, I understand that many of the challenges that the businesses face, food manufacturers, coffee trade, and members of this industry, are vast and diverse. So several of the policies that we roll out are not a one-size-fits-all. We can't. So many of the things will be customized as best we can. Policies that we roll out will be customized to the different sector. By that I meant that when we implement those schemes and programs on the ground, this time we're going to take a different approach. It's going to be a flexible and open approach. Flexible and open approach in terms of applying some of these schemes and incentives to the industry, to help the industry to develop. And it's important to respect the domain knowledge of the industry and the players and the practitioners. Because when we do that, then the schemes is supportive, and it will not be a top-down approach, it will be a bottoms-up approach. So my colleagues at Spring Singapore and several of us in the government will be more than happy to advise on the schemes or to engage you and to work together for a better solution of tomorrow. At this juncture, let me commend the trade associations such as the Singapore Coffee Association, the Singapore Manufacturers Federation, the ASEAN Coffee Federation for organizing Cafe Asia 2013, and also the International Coffee and Tea Industry 2013. Singapore has an established reputation of quality and service and the potential of becoming an even more important hub, serving the Asian coffee and tea trades. And we hope that the associations and businesses will continue to grow their base here by initiating, innovating, and responding to the demands of the market, both globally and locally. In closing, I wish all exhibitors and visitors a rewarding and enjoyable experience at the event. And also, may you have a good coffee time today.